When you think of Alpha Minecraft, what comes to mind? Maybe finding your first diamonds. Maybe punching down your first tree for wood. Maybe hunkering away in the night to escape the monsters above. Maybe staying up late to play Minecraft when your parents thought you were asleep. Or maybe you think of the mystery of an infinite, foggy wasteland. When I think of Alpha Minecraft, I think of AlphaAnarchy. On AlphaAnarchy, you can never seem to know what you'll discover. Whether it be the ruins of an old base, long forgotten, or whether it be a single, seemingly endless road leading you deeper into the fog. AlphaAnarchy has its share of mysteries, inexplicable events, things the human mind cannot quite grasp. Today I will be guiding you through some of those mysteries, some known and some lost to time. Alright, so starting off we have Farbase. This was a base in the pretty early days of the server, probably about early July, continued into about mid-August, and this was a base at the Farlands founded by Opticep and Squidmaster98. Eventually they ended up inviting BroSlab, Xylo, and Sci-Fi. Beta 1.2. This is a reference to how Alex2 has agreed to update AlphaAnarchy from version beta 1.1 to version beta 1.2 if the community is still invested around December. Operation Lawnmower. This was when Opticep got the majority of the active player base to come together solely to grief spawn. The main purpose was to remove all grass within a 500 by 500 block radius of spawn, which they succeeded at. On screen I will be showing a 10-day progress of Operation Lawnmower. Shid. Shid client was a client developed by Stever, an infamous AlphaAnarchy player. Shid was revolutionary at the time because most players were either using completely vanilla clients or very subpar hacked clients. A few things that Shid did that were revolutionary for its time was it had things like tracers and ESP hacks. You could see chests without being near them at all, you could see them right through blocks, and you could see where all nearby players were around you. The creation of this client also pushed Stever further into the public eye. Spawn Wall. This entry refers to the various spawn walls made around the time of Operation Lawnmower. There are a couple spawn walls made out of lava casts, and one complete lava wall. These make spawn significantly harder to escape as a new player, especially when you don't have a client. The spawn renders refer to renders of spawn that were taken using mods on via proxy, which is a way of playing AlphaAnarchy on newer versions of Minecraft. The player known for starting this trend was Vipar, but it was later done by Scott X, Opticep, and BroSlab. The biggest render to date is 4,000 blocks by 4,000 blocks by BroSlab. Because most of the spawn renders were taken at early times in the server's history, they serve as great waypoints to see how much the server has evolved over time. 1K1K. 1K1K was a spawn base founded by Opticep, Squidmaster98, and Xylo. Originally referred to as the Farlanders Outpost, it went on to become one of the first public spawn bases and the second biggest to date. Over its 1 week lifespan, it had approximately 25 players visit it. The admin of the server, Alex1, also visited it and not only left a sign but also toured the base for YouTube. Highways and Chill. Highways and Chill was a podcast series recorded by a player named Caffeine. The interviews would follow him as he dug through the highways while interviewing various people from the server. The first guest being Squidmaster, then Alex, Fexus, and BroSlab. Significantly after the other Highways and Chill episodes, he would also go on to interview Opticep. Speedruns. This entry refers to the wood speedruns on AlphaAnarchy. This is where a player would spawn in and try to get a log as fast as possible. This was started by BroSlab, who had a time of 7 minutes. It was later brought down to 3:49 by Sebacab, and the current world record is held by Herbaceani at 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Trinity 2. Trinity 2 was a far-out base founded by Sci-Fi. He would go on to invite Alex, Solomon Platinum, Hoopworst, Squidmaster, Fexus, Caffeine, CMixo, High, and BroSlab. As of right now, the base is pretty inactive, but it hasn't been griefed yet. Senile Cube. Slime Cube was a player who joined very early in AlphaAnarchy's history. However, he ended up going inactive because the server wasn't active. Around early July, he came back to AlphaAnarchy because he noticed that there was a strong player base that had come back while he was away. When he came back, there were 3 players mostly responsible for griefing spawn. Opticep and BroSlab, which were known for their lava casts, and Scott X, who was known for his baritone bots mining grass. When Slime Cube came back, he made a couple lava casts of his own. However, he messed up while creating them and they came out looking very janky and awkward. His lava casts were later compared to Christmas trees by BroSlab. So, I also heard that people were comparing your lava casts to Christmas trees. What do you think about that?
Well, I think they're full of crap. I will admit, my first lava cast did suck.
Even though he didn't play too much of a role in griefing spawn, he still felt the need to take credit for griefing spawn and claimed that he made half the lava casts. On screen I will be showing a diagram of how much of spawn he actually did grief. Of course, the player base didn't take kindly to this and he got bullied severely. Around this time, he also got the nickname Senile Cube after losing to a fight with Squidmaster. He also had a plan to grief 1k, which turned out to be a farce because you really only planned on pouring lava buckets over 1k. He later went on to have an interview with Caffeine, which got cancelled and ended up having it with BroSlab. After his interview, he decided that he was going to make a water cube at 00 in the night when everyone was asleep. When the player base got up, they quickly disposed of it, but little did they know, at 200 he was building another water cube. He had a huge character arc during Operation Lawnmower where he ended up joining forces with Opticep. Around this time he also started to make a lot of work on the highways. Because of his productivity, he actually ended up becoming pretty well liked in the community as of recently. He was one of the first people invited to ITKT even though he showed up quite a bit after. Now even though he's well liked now, it still begs the question of how ironic he was really being when it came to the Slime Cube persona. He claims that before Operation Lawnmower he was being ironic and trolling the player base. However, there's a very strong possibility that he was retarded beforehand. Will we ever know if he was really serious or not? It will remain a mystery forever. Instamine Kick. The Instamine Kick took place in early September of 2023. This was because of the anti-cheat, where whenever you would instamine a block with the wrong tool, you would get kicked from the server. However, if you used the right tool, for example, mining cobblestone with a pickaxe, you wouldn't get kicked. But let's say you were to mine that cobblestone with a shovel, you would get kicked. Now Instamine is completely patched, and you'll get kicked no matter what you instamine with. ITKT. ITKT was founded on September 11th, 2023. It was less than 2,000 blocks from spawn, making it a spawn base. It was founded by BroSlab, and his plan for the base was to have it close enough to spawn that it's easy to discover, but not too close to where it would be publicly known. From that point, anytime the base would get griefed, him and his team would rebuild it. The base ended up having over 30 people at it, and ended up being the biggest base on AlphaAnarchy in terms of surface area. The issue with BroSlab's plan was that the player base was very friendly at the time. The base was only griefed recently by a player named Fluffles. Because the base was only lava casted over, there is still hope that it could be rebuilt. But that's a decision for the player base to make. The Back Door. H29 was a dev on AlphaAnarchy. He was trusted by Alex, AlphaAnarchy's original owner. H29 would often code plugins for Alex. Alex's trust in H29 was misplaced because H29 ended up uploading a rat into one of his plugins. He used this rat to spawn illegals and teleport some of him and his friends around. He had a stash of illegals, including block IDs corresponding to pistons, which had not been added yet. After the server was sold to Alex too, the backdoor was found and removed. It's notable that this backdoor also led to the grief of Farbase, when H29 and friends ended up teleporting out there and blowing it up. The Slime Cube interview. The Slime Cube interview was originally going to be done by Caffeine as a Highways and Chill episode. After Caffeine found out that Slime Cube intended to tell new players to build water cubes at spawn, he no longer wanted to do the interview. BroSlab promised Slime Cube coordinates to a base if he did the interview with him. When the interview was done, BroSlab did not give him the coordinates to the base, effectively scamming Slime Cube. The interview was hilarious and very quickly became a meme in the community. Not a Client. Not a Client was a hacked client developed by Game Hero Brian. This was the first client uniquely made for AlphaAnarchy. It was made around April to May of 2023. This hack was revolutionary for its time because it had different modules including Fly, Fast Fly, Reach, Clock Speed, Jesus, No Fall, Fulbright, Instant, Free Cam, No Clip, Radar, Build Hack, and X-Ray. Though little is known about the origin of this hacked client, it was certainly revolutionary in AlphaAnarchy's history. AlphaAnarchy Shadow Government. The AlphaAnarchy Shadow Government was started around the time of 1K1K. It was used to promote propaganda and silence their enemies. Few people had the courage to stand up to them, and the few that did were silenced quickly. The AlphaAnarchy Shadow Government was known to be harsh in their punishments. They had the addresses of all of their members just to make sure that no one would desert their group. They were eventually toppled around the time of Operation Lawnmower. Ever since then, AlphaAnarchy has been free of their tyranny. Or maybe that's just what they want us to think. The SMP era. The SMP era on AlphaAnarchy lasted from the server's start in April up until June 26th. On June 26th, BroSlab would upload his infamous video titled Mucking About on AlphaAnarchy, where he would lavacast and grief everything he came across. The next day, Opticep would join and lavacast a huge area of spawn. The time period before those events was known as the SMP era. During this time, the player counts were pretty low and players could build whatever they wanted at spawn without it being griefed. On screen, I will show a video taken of AlphaAnarchy's spawn taken on June 4th, 22 days before the June 26th revolution.